दीपक नागल साहब हैं?
Yes, is there.
दीपक जी, दीपक नागल सर।
शर्मा साहब, उनका वीडियो नहीं आ रहा है, आवाज तो आता है जो बातचीत करते हैं। राजेश जी का
नहीं सर, वो 2 सिस्टम से थे शायद पहले। दीपक नागल साहब हैं? केवल वो अभी जो मोबाइल से शायद वो कनेक्टेड है, लैपटॉप से कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं वो।
अच्छा,
दीपक नागल सर, इसीलिए आपको केवल आवाज आ रही है।
शर्मा साहब, उनका वीडियो नहीं
दीपक नांगल जी
आता है जो बातचीत करते हैं। राजेश जी का
मिस्टर दीपक नांगल। नहीं सर, वो 2 सिस्टम।
Sir, whatever the Gmail, it is correct. Why? What happened?
No, what I'm requesting Deepak to assist Rajesh Gupta sir by phone, over phone.
Sir, link I am sharing.
शर्मा साहब, उनका
दीपक नांगल जी,
राजेश जी का
I am sharing in the group.
Participants, we are sorry, some technical issue is there. Please cooperate and wait. I am requesting for some minutes, sir.
Sir, already link shared in the group.
Okay. कि रमेश बाबू, ये किसका YouTube का दे दिया क्या लिंक?
YouTube link I shared.
Okay.
I am sharing.
This you share on our that waiting room also, sir. Some technical issue is there. Please cooperate and wait. Should I now get all them join? Some minutes, sir.
Sir, already link shared in the group.
रमेश बाबू, okay. Should we take them in? इसका YouTube का दे दिया क्या लिंक?
YouTube link I shared.
Okay.
Admit all. You admit all.
Okay. Okay. Okay, मैंने सभी को एडमिट ऑल कर दिया है। एंड नाउ प्लीज शेयर दिस आवर लिंक ऑन वेटिंग रूम आल्सो। शुड वी टेक देम इन?
I am in.
YouTube link I shared.
Okay. I will now request. Okay. AK Sinha sir. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Sinha sir, and now Mr. AK Sinha is well-known faculty of our this fraternity, and he is very well known to our SLA Virtual Tech Group, all India registered group, and all that. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
he is basically an retired air person, and now he is having very vast knowledge on our subject. He is a faculty member on various seminars, and I will request now Gurudev Anand Alkutkar sir to Anand Alkutkar sahab hain?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Please permit to start our this session, today's session,
Yes.
sir. And now,
Yes, please go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sinha sir, please, it's your time.
Thank you to everyone.
Various seminars, and I will request now Gurudev Anand Alkutkar sir.
आज का प्रोग्राम सबसे पहले इस संस्कृत के श्लोक से करते हैं। अन्नदानम महादानम विद्यादानम महत्रम
Recording in progress.
छिनका तृप्ति विद्यादानम अहर्निशय। मीन्स वंस अगेन, अन्नदानम महादानम, अन्न का दान करना महादान है, परंतु विद्या का दान करना प्रोग्राम उससे भी ज्यादा उसका महत्व है। संस्कृत के श्लोक से करते हैं अन्नदानम महादानम छिनका तृप्ति। मीन्स अगर आप किसी को अन्न का दान करते हैं, देन दैट विल बी फॉर वेरी स्मॉल टाइम, एंड विद्यादानम अहर्निशय, अगर किसी को विद्या का दान करते हैं, दैट विल बी फॉर एवर। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई थैंक्स द SLA virtual technical teams to arrange this program and share the knowledge to the participant. This is a very, very good job, and I thanks once again to the SLA virtual team for organizing such programs for the surveyor fraternity. First of all, I thanks the SLA virtual technical teams to arrange this program and share the knowledge. This program I have divided in 2 parts, that is section 1 and section 2. The section 1 I will talking about the introduction on steering geometry. Types of steering: power steering in cars, hydraulic and electric assisted. Power steering, hydraulic assisted in trucks. And section 2, that is case study. That is section 1 and section 2. The section 1, I will talking about the introduction on steering geometry. Any data in this PPT, power steering in cars, this is only for the education and training purpose. It is not to be taken as a guideline. Case study. That is section 1
Okay.
and section 2.
ఇదేమంటే see there are lot of spelling
To prepare this program, I have visited Messrs. Sant Sales, authorized dealer of ZF Steering Kanpur, Messrs. Gurdeep Sons, authorized dealer of Rane Steering Kanpur, and Messrs. Sarda Auto Care, authorized dealer of Webcom Steering Kanpur. I thanks for this invaluable guidance and supporting this presentation. मैंने ये तीनों डीलर के यहाँ जाकर करके सारे स्टीयरिंग के बारे में, स्टीयरिंग सिस्टम के बारे में, एक्सीडेंट के समय में क्या क्या डैमेजेस होते हैं, दैट ऑल आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम देयर एंड सेम आई एम शेयरिंग टू माय कोलीग सर्वेयर्स फॉर दिस इनवैल्यूएबल गाइडेंस एंड
లేదు అది ఎస్ఎల్ఏ వర్చువల్కి దీపకే లాగిన్
मैंने
చేసింది
ये तीनों डीलर के यहाँ जाकर शर्मा साहब थोड़ा सा इसको अनम्यूट कर दें पार्टिसिपेंट को
నాకు లాగిన్ దొరకలేదు
सभी अनम्यूट किए? ओके
हम थोड़े समय के लिए कर दें.
ओके
Recently learned from there.
रमेश बाबू
मैंने अपने कुलीग सर्वेयर से
अनम्यूट एवरीवन सर.
recently
I am muting.
No, no.
साहब थोड़ा सा
AK Sinha sir requesting to unmute.
वेटिंग रूम पार्टिसिपेंट्स
Already
तो
unmuted.
सभी को अनम्यूट कर दें. That is for समय के लिए टाइम बीइंग.
अच्छा म्यूट करना है. ओके
Yeah,
म्यूट ऑल.
I muted everyone.
रमेश बाबू
Co-host can
करना है. मैंने अपने
unmute
colleague surveyor
themselves.
से
अनम्यूट एवरीवन सर.
recently मैंने अपने
I am
कुलीग सर्वेयर से पूछा
नो नो
what is the भारत सीरीज नंबर प्लेट.
टू अनम्यूट.
देन उन्होंने he could not tell it. उसके बाद मैंने एक दो लोगों से और भी मैंने पूछा what is भारत सीरीज नंबर प्लेट.
ఎస్ఎల్ఏ వర్చువల్
Then they also didn't reply. Then I thought that our many surveyors, they may not be aware about this Bharat series number plate. Anyone who knows about the Bharat series number plate? Then उन्होंने क्या है? He could not tell it. Before starting the steering system, I have what is Bharat series number plate? I am going to show you few slides and elaborate about the Bharat series number. That our many anybody knows may not be aware about this Bharat series number. Now it is going to be a year. Who knows about the Bharat? आपने कुछ गाड़ियों में जो है, now you must have seen like this number, Bihar type BH Bihar, that is 21 BH 2345 AA 22 BH 4928A, like this number. What is this? Anybody knows? Now it is going to be a
भाई
year.
शर्मा जी प्लीज.
आपने कुछ
सर
गाड़ियों
भारत
में
सीरीज स्पेसिफिकली उन लोगों के लिए किया है कि जो फ्रिक्वेंटली 1 साल 2 साल के अंदर एक स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट में उनका ट्रांसफर होता है, खास करके गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट एम्प्लॉइज. तो उस केस में क्या होता है, जिस स्टेट के अंदर ये गाड़ी रजिस्ट्रेशन होती है तो शुरू में 2 कोड स्टेट के होते हैं, फिर BH लिखा जाता है, फिर 4 अक्षर लिखे जाते हैं. तो उससे जो भी एक मोटर व्हीकल टैक्स है अदरवाइज स्टेट में रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है तो स्टेट को मिलता है. बट इन दिस केस टोटल अमाउंट गोस टू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड देन दे मस्ट बी शेयरिंग सम परसेंटेज टू द
Okay, thank you sir, thank you.
उस केस में क्या होता है, जिस ओके सर, तो उसमें ये होगा कि एम्प्लॉय जहां भी जाएगा,
The government of India introduced the BH number plate of Bharat series registration number for non-transport vehicle, that is in August 2021. The BH series number plates remove the obligation of transferring vehicles registration after moving from one state to other.
ये होगा कि
Registration for the BH series India commenced from 15 September 2021. The BH series number plate is with a white background and black fonts. For private vehicle registered under the BH series license plate, the road tax for the vehicle will be charged for 2 years or in multiples of 2 years, that is for 4, 6 and 8 and like that. The road tax for the BH series can be paid online, will be applicable for 15 years and thereafter for 1 year. So especially this is the main features of the Bharat series number plate. क्या था पहले? As per section 47 of the Motor Vehicle Act 1988, the owner were only allowed to keep their vehicle in another state different from the ones they are registered in for 12 months only. Now suppose a defense person is serving for 20 years and he is posted 5 to 6 times, then in each state he has to register the vehicles after a year. तो उसकी गाड़ी तो 20 साल में 6 बार register हो जाएगी. So for this reason, not only for the defense person, I am showing you who all are eligible for this Bharat series number plate. And he is posted 5 to 6 times. State and central government employees. He has to defense sector, bank employees, administrative services. Now this is fifth is also very important. Private firms employees who have offices in more than 4 states or union territories. They can also apply for this Bharat series number plate. Defense sector, bank employees, documents, all the documents as usual except that is working certificate or identity card that proves that he is the employee of the that already I have shown you in the previous slides, that he is from the defense, he is from the state government, or he is the corporate firms. He is from the corporate firms. He has to prove that his offices is in 4 states or 4 union territories. He is the employee of the that already. How to read Bharat series number plate? पहला 21 तो कहीं और का है, किसी और स्टेट का है. BH 4594A. Anyone? How to read? अगर इस तरह की आपने गाड़ी देखी होगी तो आप कैसे इसको पढ़ेंगे? How to read Bharat? Anyone? पहला 21 तो कहीं और का है, किसी और स्टेट का है. All are muted sir क्या? 4594A.
Most of are muted sir.
अच्छा नहीं, मैंने बोला था कि इसको अनम्यूट करके थोड़ा इंटरैक्टिव था इस वजह से. तो आप कैसे इसको पढ़ेंगे?
I will request all participants to give chat box answer on chat box sir.
How to read? 1 साल के अंदर बहुत सारी गाड़ियां रजिस्टर हो गई है और बहुत लोग इससे कम क्रॉस भी हुए होंगे इसके सर्वे में. अच्छा नहीं, मैंने बोला था कि इसको अनम्यूट करके थोड़ा इंटरैक्टिव था इस वजह से. ओके. Now this is the how Bharat series number plate to be read. The first 2 letter. Now you are seeing 21, 22. How to read? इसमें जो है से कोई 23, 24, 45 like you won't be seeing. 2021 because it was started in 2021. So 21 denotes that when the vehicle was registered, that years of the registration. अभी की जो गाड़ियां होगी उसमें आप 22 देखेंगे. So on the road only these 2 numbers 21 and 22 you will be finding. And second, that BH denotes that it is code of Bharat series. So, and that denotes that randomized code that is 0001 to 999, and the last is alphabetic series. That can be 1 also. It will start from the single A finding, and it will go up to the Z. I think all of you must be knowing that I and O. This number it is not being allotted in the alphabetic series. और जब पूरे हो जाएंगे then it will be double A or like that. So this is the Bharat series number plate. सिंगल ए फाइंडिंग एंड इट विल गो अप टू द इसके टैक्स के पोजीशन कैसे होते हैं सपोज ए व्हीकल इज बिलो 10 लाख रुपीस then he has to pay 8% of the vehicle invoice price that is against the tax अगर 10 से 20 लाख की गाड़ी है then 10% and above 20 lakhs then 12% mind it if diesel vehicle it is purchased then 2% extra charges to be levied अगर 10 लाख की गाड़ी है 2% डीजल गाड़ी है then in place of 8 it will be charged 10% and if it is a electric vehicles then government has given rebate that is of 2% means if it is electric vehicles it will be and vehicle costing up to 10 lakhs only he has to pay 6% of the invoice price
Yes, sir.
so this is the and if it is a electric this all about the Bharat series number plate
सिन्हा सर,
sir
चैट बॉक्स में एक क्वेश्चन है, व्हीकल कहाँ रजिस्टर्ड हुआ कैसे जाने?
it can
Is it
be
required
any,
really?
it can be any state जहाँ पे जो
कोई जरूरत
बनता
ही नहीं है
वहीं
उसको
पे
जानने की, कहाँ रजिस्टर्ड हुआ जानने की जरूरत नहीं।
नहीं that is online उसको
Thank you, sir.
आप केवल जो है से उससे आप देखें किस साल जो है से it is registered
रजिस्टर्ड
बाकी nothing you can because it is online registration अगर केरला में suppose जो है से that same number it is 456 it is allotted in Kerala then 457 it may be in Gujarat
Yes.
जहाँ पे जो
कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है
बनता
उसको जानने की,
Continue, sir.
रजिस्टर्ड हुआ जानने की जरूरत नहीं।
नहीं that is thanks about this Bharat series number plate उससे आप देखें किस साल जो है now we are coming to
रजिस्टर्ड
steering introduction on steering geometry केरला में suppose थोड़ा initially it is boring क्योंकि steering geometry बहुत ही typical है and it is very difficult to understand also but anyhow I have made it very simple that is only introduction type it is not all about steering introduction on steering क्योंकि हमें जब when we go for the survey initially it is boring हमें we are facing the problem सारे बहुत सारे सामान उसमें बदल देते हैं if you know about these things then you can question them I have made it very simple. There are 4 types of angle that is camber angle, caster angle, toe in and toe out and SAI or KPI, kingpin inclination. We are facing the and SAI steering angle inclination. Both are same. If you know about तो एक-एक कर-करके देखते हैं थोड़ा सा justice. It is only introduction type. There are 4 types that is positive camber angle and negative camber angle. पहले तो हम इसमें देखें what is camber angle. अगर किसी गाड़ी को अगर आप सामने से अगर देखेंगे तो उसमें देखेंगे कि पहिया जो है फ्रंट व्हील स्टीयरिंग एंगल उसके अंदर है या बाहर है सेम कुछ गाड़ियों में आप देखेंगे कि फ्रंट व्हील जो है से अंदर की ओर फेसिंग होती है और कुछ में जो है से बाहर की ओर होती है पहले तो हम इसमें देखें तो द टिल्ट कितना इसमें जो है से टिल्ट होता है दैट इज नोन एज कैम्बर एंगल पहिया को एक्सिस से मेन एक्सिस से सेंटर एक्सिस से उसको कितना अंदर रखा गया है और कितना बाहर रखा गया है नाउ व्हाट फॉर दिस इज ये हम जो है कैम्बर जो है नेगेटिव कैम्बर और पॉजिटिव कैम्बर क्यों देते हैं कितना इसमें जो है दैट इज फॉर द इजी टर्निंग ऑफ द व्हीकल पहिया को एक्सिस से मेन एक्सिस से सेंटर एक्सिस से उसको कितना अंदर रखा आप देखे होंगे कि कहीं बच्चे झूले झूलते हैं या बड़े उसमें जो है से झूले पे इनफैक्ट क्या है कि व्हेन हम लोगों ने इसको पढ़ा भी है जब कोई चीज रोटेट होती है तो 2 फोर्स उस पे काम करते हैं एक सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स और दूसरा सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स तो इसके व्हेन द व्हीकल इट इज टर्निंग अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन द व्हीकल इट इज टर्निंग उसमें जो है सपोज पॉजिटिव एंगल इट इज गिवन means positive angle means what will happen the wheel will be outside it will be inclined outside so at the time of turning what will happen both the wheel it will have lesser contact on the surface means positive angle and hence the turning of the vehicle it will be very easy. Outside. So at the time of turning, दूसरा example हम लेते हैं, when the vehicle is designed with the negative camber, what will happen? At the time of turning, one wheel, that is inner wheel of the vehicle, that will be having lesser contact on the ground, and other wheel, it will have more surface contact with the ground. So under these circumstances, what will happen? At the time of turning, you have to apply more force on the steering. So in olden days, when there was no power steering, when the steering system were manual, the designer, manufacturers used to give positive camber. And when positive camber it is given, the overturning of the vehicle, it is possible more and more. And when the vehicle is designed with the negative camber, the overturning, it reduces. So nowadays, in modern vehicles, almost all the manufacturers, they are providing the negative camber because of the power steering. अब तो यहाँ पे जो है मैनुअल फोर्स लगाने की जरूरत है नहीं. So if the tire it is having even more contact with the surface while turning, then there is no problem because you are using the power steering. You do not have to apply the manual force. And remember it, the vehicle which is driven, which is having front wheel drive, all the vehicles, most of the vehicles I say that are having negative cambers. So इसको बाद में देखेंगे कि why I am telling you these things. And remember it, the vehicle, आप इसमें देखें, this is having full contact with this surface, and at the time of, suppose this is having a negative camber. So what will happen? Both the wheels, it will be, if you see from the top, it will be inside, and at the time of turning, the right wheel, it will having less contact with the ground in compared to right wheel. This is having, and hence the stability of the vehicles will be more. This is having a negative. So you can see, you can tell in other words that camber angle and caster angle is provided for the better stability. Right wheel, it will having less contact with the ground. जितने भी angle है, that all it is for the stability only. Now you can see it. This is the, when the vehicle is straight, then it is known as zero camber. And when the wheel it is this side, you can see, if you see from the top, it is right side, then it is having the positive camber. And first diagram, if you see, this is having a negative camber. Now you can see it. This is the, when the vehicle is then caster angle. This is a very common. And when the wheel, this is a, without caster angle, it is very difficult to drive any vehicle. जो एक्सिल है, जो एक्सिस है, सेंटर एक्सिस है, और जो स्टीयरिंग की माउंटिंग होती है, उसके बीच के एंगल, that is known as the caster angle. And we use positive caster in the vehicles. कैसे? Just have a look. Very difficult to drive any vehicle. एक कार है, कार में आपने देखा होगा कि this is the shocker. Shocker it is mounted here, and the vehicle it is put forward. बीच के angle, that is known as the caster. It is away from the its riveting point. That wheel, if you will find that it is away from the, so this angle it is known as the caster angle. And very easy example you can see in the motorcycle. Motorcycle में क्या है? You can see, if इसके fork जो है से आगे की तरह होती है, और हैंडल के पास में that is pivoted. अगर एक caster angle if it is not there, तो जो अभी अक्षय कुमार को आप देख रहे हैं साइकिल ये हाथ छोड़ करके नहीं चल सकता. You can see in the motorcycle. So the caster angle it is provided for the easy movement, front movement of the vehicle. आप देखे होंगे कि किसी भी ट्रॉली even though on the ground equipment which is used for the vehicles you will find that is having a caster angle, that wheel it is having a caster angle. कोई इंजन उतारने का ट्रॉली या लिफ्ट एक्सेल जितने भी होंगे छोटे छोटे that will which is moving on the ground that will have the caster angle. आप see किसी भी ट्रॉली even though on the ground this is a motorcycle you can see it you will find that fork it is having a caster angle outward side and it is pivoted here, so this angle it is known as the caster angle. Now when any motorcycles met with the accident that will have the caster, repairer क्या कहते हैं साहब that front upper plate and lower plate it is not repairable. You can see it. हम कहते हैं कि no, you repair it. Now when it is not repairable and we say it to repair, then what will happen? If it is not aligned correctly, then the caster angle will change. And what will happen? The movement of the vehicles, front upper plate and lower plate, it is not. The forward movement of the vehicles, it will be reduced, and hence the average of the vehicles, it will also affect the average of the vehicles. तो आपने ज्यादातर गाड़ियों में देखा होगा कि when a motorcycles met with an accident, they straightway say upper and lower plate has to be changed. Because if they do not change the upper and lower plate, the caster angle disturbs. Hence, the average of the vehicles, it will also affect the average of the vehicles. Toe in and toe out. This is when you see from the distance, upper and lower plate has to be changed. This is toe out. If they do not, it is just like upper and lower plate. आप आगे का पहिया जब देखेंगे, तो आगे जो है से आपके distance it will be less, and at the back where steering column steering rack it is fitted, that portion it will be having more distance. So this type of arrangement it is known as toe out, and accordingly toe in, the inner wheel, inner side of the wheel, it will be having less distance than the front, that is known as a toe in. This is also for the stability of the vehicle. So this type of arrangement, that when the vehicle it is turning, that time it gives stability to the vehicle. Inner side of the wheel, it will be having less distance than the front. Then kingpin inclination. This is also kingpin inclination of the vehicle. What is this? This is also a very important angle. That time you can understand with this. The purpose of KPI is used for the easy steering. What happened? If KPI it is not there. What happened? If you see this axis, what is this? This is also a, and this is the important angle. Axle. This is the axle. So both the line, if you draw an imaginary line, and this line from just here, so upper and lower portion it will have the same distance. So at the time of turning, it will be very difficult for the vehicle for the easy maneuvering. And this is the so axle. You might have seen axle in a truck, that kingpin beam में जो है से that is at certain angle, and even in the car, if you see the stub axle, that upper portion there it is also having a lux, and at bottom portion there are upper and lower. So you will find that upper portion of the stub axle it is having more length than the bottoms. That is only to create the KPI. if you see the stub axle, that upper portion there, you can understand from this. Now you see here, there are upper and lower. So this is an imaginary, this is the actual line of the stub, and this is a pivoting line. So suppose this is not there, you will find that this upper portion and lower portion both will have the same distance, and the bottom portion, this is known as scrub ratio. So for easy turning or easy maneuvering, what you have to do it, what the manufacturer has to do, they have to reduce the scrub radius. So for reducing the scrub radius, they have to design the vehicles or steering system in such a way that it is having a tilt. So at the time of turning of the vehicles, it will have a very easy turn. अब यहाँ पे सॉकर आप हमेशा आप देखेंगे कि it is at certain angle. That complete line from the top to bottom. This is, you can find it, you see here in this diagram, you can see kingpin or steering axle inclination. This upper arm, this is a stub axle. The upper arm, it is having more length, and lower arm, it is having less length. Kingpin inclination is in all the vehicles. It is not only that it is in truck where you see the front axle is having kingpin. No, you can see it here also. This, without that, a steering cannot be made easy. And lower arm, it is having less length. Kingpin inclination is these only in a vehicles, only toe in and toe out angle it is adjusted. If any vehicles met with an accident, if caster, camber, it changes, and KPI it's changing, that parts has to be replaced, or if it is repaired, then actual dimension or actual clearance to be maintained. हम गाड़ी में किसी भी गाड़ी में only we adjust two angle, that is toe in and toe out. बहुत सारे ऐसे केसेस होते हैं. Now see this vehicles, if it is repaired, then the vehicle met with an accident. Now front wheel, it is pushed back. Now the distance, you can see here, you see the first photograph, the distance from the tire, and that is the front portion, it is having more distance than the rear portion. If you find the other side, you will find the equal distance. So in this case, what happened? The vehicle has met with an accident, and that arm, lower arm, it got bent, and the wheel, it is pushed back. Now what happened? If this vehicle, it runs in the same condition, what will happen? The vehicle has to be applied more force. The vehicle has to be to pull this wheel, the engine or power consumption will be more, because the caster angle has changed. Initially, I have shown you that what is the caster angle. In the same condition, what will happen? The main axis and where it is pivoted, that angle, it is known as caster. Now here, this is pushed back. The wheel, it is pushed back. So caster angle is changed. Under such circumstances, you might have seen many times that initially I have shown you that for changing the arms, what they do it, they also change the shocker, they also change the stub axle, knuckle, that is known as the knuckle. So in many cases, we find that they change the shocker, then knuckle and arm. Why? Because all these three parts, if the vehicle has got more impact, then this all three parts get bent. And हम लोग उसको ठीक से देख नहीं पाते, हम कहते हैं यार आपने तो तीनों का तीनों चेंज कर दिया. शॉकर, इसके तो एक ही चेंज होने चाहिए थे, नक्कल एंड नाउ दे आल्सो समटाइम्स व्हाट दे डू इट, नाउ सपोज they have replaced the arm, if the vehicle, and after more impact replacing the arm, all three parts, the caster angle, it is not set to the original position. Then what they do it, they change the shocker. उसके बाद भी नहीं आया, then they find that there is a problem in knuckle. Sometimes what they do it, now suppose, now what happened, they have replaced the arm. Suppose this shocker it is not bent, only that caster it is changed due to arm. It is not set to the, and they have changed all the three items, that is only in trial basis. Shocker, उनके पास इतना कई बार टाइम नहीं होता है कि अगेन वो आर्म पुराना लगा करके सॉकर जो है से नया लगा करके चेंज करें, और दे रिप्लेस ऑल द थ्री पार्ट्स, और हम लोग के पास भी उतनी टाइम नहीं रहती है कि एक एक कर करके देखें. So at various stage, under such circumstances, what we have to do it, in any accidental vehicles, state way, हम उनको कहें कि साहब जो है से आप इसका हमें अलाइनमेंट चेक दीजिए, नया लगा करके चेंज करें, और आप in accidental condition only ask them for the alignment report, and after alignment report you will find that which angle it is shifted, and accordingly it can be, the parts can be replaced. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, you see the second diagram, second photograph, this tie rod it is bent, alignment report, under such circumstances what will happen, that toe in or toe out it will be disturbed, and accordingly, तो बहुत बार आपने देखा होगा कि under such circumstances they change the complete rack, you see the, because this tie rod it is connected with the steering rack, this tie rod it is bent. Third photograph, this is, you can see it here, that rear wheel it is slightly bent. Wheel means that axle, wheel it is from the top, if you see it is coming out. हम बहुत सारे ऐसे केस में कहते हैं कि साहब ये हमें बताओ, इसका अलाइनमेंट आप कर दो, you can see it here that rear, आप इसको एडजस्ट कर दो, rear wheel it is slightly, लेकिन in a rear axle there is no alignment, that axle even if it is out by 1 degree or 2 degree, there is, it is coming out, only the rear axle has to be replaced. हम बहुत सारे ऐसे केस में कहते हैं कि साहब ये हमें बताओ, इसका अलाइनमेंट आप कर दो. Under such circumstances that rear axle has to be replaced if the angle it is out. In a rear axle there is no alignment, that axle even if it is out by 1 degree or 2 degree, there is, it is coming out, only the, this is steering ratio, जो हम wheel को turn करते हैं, and how much that steering wheel it is, how many times it is turned, and that front wheel, if the, at what angle it is turned, that ratio it is known as the steering ratio. So this is all about the geometry. Now we are coming to types of steering, and how much that steering. There are two types of steering, one is manual and other is power. Under manual steering, rack and pinion, worm and roller, and power, that is hydraulic and electrical. This is all about the geometry. Now we are coming to types of, now power steering. This is hydraulic and other is electric. हाइड्रोलिक में भी बहुत सारे टाइप के होते हैं, and इलेक्ट्रिक में भी बहुत सारे टाइप के होते हैं. So here you can see hydraulic is having 4 types. First is rack and pinion, worm and roller, nut and recirculating ball, and hydrostatic. And electric, that is rack and pinion, column driven EPS, pinion driven, and here you can see hydraulic is back driven EPS. So these are the type of electric, nut and steering system, and hydrostatic, and electrical, electric. Now coming to the manual steering, column driven EPS, pillion driven, and I think everybody must be knowing that in 1769, first electric steam engine car was made. That was by the French inventor Nicolas. So in that time, only manual steering was available, and even in 90s, that manual steering was must be knowing that in vehicle was manufacturers with the manual steering. That was by the French inventor Nicolas. So see, all the old vehicles, it was having only manual steering system, and even it was not having any gearbox, steering gear system. Vehicle was manufactured Warman roller type. Warman roller type steering gearbox was used in olden days. So this was this is the worm and this is the roller. So this system now it is all abolished. Steering gear system. Now this is rack and pinion. This is the common roller type. This is very common, and BMW used in olden days. They used first time in 1930 and till today. After 92 years also, this rack and pinion system it is in use. Now this is rack and pinion. This is the common roller type. This is when you move the steering, BMW the pinion moves on the rack and rack moves and the wheel it moves and the vehicle it is steered. 2 years also this rack and pinion system it is in use. Now recirculating ball and nut type manual steering gearbox are used in old vehicles. So this was a very common steering gearbox where recirculating ball and nut type steering was used. Now still this is only the manual. हमने अब क्या किया है recirculating ball and nut type we have made it in with power steering. The system is the same. There is no change in the system, but only thing with the same principle it is converted into power steering. Now still this is only the manual. हमने अब क्या किया है recirculating ball also known as recirculating ball and nut or worm and sector. It is a steering mechanism. You can see these photographs. Now you can see it here. The same principle. इसके अंदर जो है steel balls होते हैं and ball nut. That what we say piston. We say worm and piston. That piston it is known as nut. Recirculating ball and nut or it is very clear. The name itself mechanism because when it was you can see it here implemented or invented that time it was a very small nut and now that same nut it has become a big piston. It is known as and hence the name it is same ball and nut. The name is that type. Because so that piston, what we say the piston, it is nut only. Or invented that time it was a very small nut and now that same nut it has become a big piston. Power steering and hence why we use power steering. Power steering is an automated system that uses a separate motor or engine power to reduce the effort necessary to turn the vehicle. हमारी सारी सिस्टम जो है से मैनुअल है but when we apply the force that force it is assisted by the power and transmitted to the power steering is an steering system that uses a separate motor or it is not automatically it is power assisted. Our force it is the force which we apply that is assisted by the पावर. हमारा फोर्स को जो है से फर्दर पावर लेकर करके एंड इट इज ट्रांसमिटेड टू द स्टीयरिंग बैक सिस्टम और मोटर it is not automatically. So power steering system, there are two types, that is hydraulic assisted and electrical assisted. We will see one by one. Electrical assisted, and this is not a new name. I have read it that in 1903, in 1903, one of the inventors, they have fitted the electric motor on the vehicles to assist the steering. Not even what they did it, I have read it, they have put a separate motor. They have put a separate motor, and with the help of belt, they have assisted the steering system. But उस समय to assist the steering, it didn't become so famous. What they did, new generations vehicles में now it is coming with the power steering with electric assisted. So system, it is not new, it is very old system. But उस समय to assist the steering, only design it is changed. What they did, new generations vehicles में advantage. Now we will see the power steering, hydraulic assisted power steering. Hydraulic assisted power steering में क्या है? Advantage इसके क्या क्या है? It is very old, comparatively less expensive, greater reliability on the mechanism. A steering force does not change even when the system has failed during driving. अगर आपकी गाड़ी hydraulic system, if it is fitted with the hydraulic system, and when the system fails, you won't feel much. Advantage इसके क्या क्या है? Comparatively, that steering won't be much hard. You can drive the vehicles even. Reliability on the mechanism. But the same problem it happens with the electrical vehicles. Then you will be the vehicle steering will be very, very hard. So this is the advantage of the hydraulic assisted power steering. That steering won't be much hard. You can drive the disadvantage इसके क्या क्या है? Greater power consumption, time to time replacement of the hydraulic fluid required. For high revving motors, pump of SPS are not reliable. The steering system is slightly complex. It is complicated, greater in weight than EPS. So these are the disadvantages of hydraulic assisted power steering system. Replacement of the hydraulic fluid. Hydraulic power. What is the disadvantage? If you see your vehicles, are not reliable. The power pump, it always keeps running. Greater in weight than, even though if your steering is in the center. If you are going on a highway and you do not need any turning, and steering wheel it is in the center, then also the motor will keep running. It means that when you start the engine and shut off the engine, till that time the power steering, the power pump always it is in use, and hence the consumption of the fuel it is more in the hydraulic power assisted vehicles. This is the one of the biggest disadvantage of the hydraulic assisted power steering system. इसके मोटर कभी बंद नहीं होते. And hence the consumption of the fuel it is more in the hydraulic power assisted vehicles. This is the one of the biggest disadvantage. कैसे ये operate होता है? Now when the steering wheel it is in the center and when it is turned, what happen internally? Internally हम लोगों ने बहुत कभी ऐसा देखा नहीं है इसको खोल कर करके. अभी मैंने भी जो ऐसे when I was preparing this PPT, then only I could study different types of steering system. इसमें जो ऐसे क्या है कि there is a rotary control valve when it is turned. So when you turn the steering wheel either left or right, what happened? The fluids from the reservoir, it goes through that valves and to the steering rack system. Then only I could study different types. So here you can see it. The tap water, if you are at home, if you are having a hot water and cold water tap, so what you do is, when you need hot water, you turn the tap to one side, and when you need cold water, you turn the tap to lever to other side. So in same way, what happens when you move the steering wheel either to right or left? If at home, the aisle pressure, that is through the pressure valve, that is through the rotary control valve, it moves to one side steering rack system. When you need cold water, you turn the tap to either from this side or from this side, and the rack moves either to right or left. So this is the very simple design. It is in the hydraulic assisted rack and pinion type steering rack system. Either from this side or from see, this is the power steering pump. From here, when the steering it is turned, you can see it here. So this is coming through this valve and it is going here. It is in the hydraulic, and this is the rack. So this rack moves either in this direction or in this direction. What happened? Pressure, it is exerted here. See, this is the, and this is known as piston. From here, I will show you in the next photographs. This is known as the piston. So when the pressure is put at one side, the piston moves to other side. And when this steering, suppose once you are moving to left and other time when you are moving to right, the direction of flow of this fluids, it is reversed. I will show you in the next photographs. That time the pressure will be applied this side and it will move other side. You can see it here. This is the hydraulic piston. In fact, it is a not separate piston. It is designed in the steering rack itself. अगर आपने कभी खोल करके नहीं देखा होगा, केवल सुना होगा कि इसमें पिस्टन होता है, no, that is a design of the, that is, it is a design of the rack. There is no separate piston because it is pressure it is put from one side, and when it moves to other side, that's why it is called the piston. No, that is a design of the, and vice versa. It is a design of the rack. There is no separate piston. See here. This is the design of the steering rack system. This is having a seal, and when it moves to other side, that's why it is called the piston. This is the rack and this is the pinion. So when pressure it is placed one side, this piston, it is not moving. That complete rack it is moving to, this is the design of one side and other side. This is having a seal, and when it moves to other side, that's why it is called the piston. This is the rack and this is the pinion. So when pressure it is placed one side, this piston, it is not moving. That complete rack it is moving to, this is the design of one side. This is the block diagram from the fuel reservoir. This is the pump. This is the pump. It is going to the pump. It creates pressure and it sends to valve. And from valve, it is put in the steering rack. This is the block diagram from the fuel reservoir, and the steering racks moves and then the wheel moves either to left or right, and hence your steering it is applied, and from valve it is put in the. Now coming to electric power steering rack. This is the block diagram. What are the advantages? Greater fuel efficiency. The motor draws power only when the vehicle turns. जब आपकी गाड़ी, suppose it is moving on the highway or anyway, when you are not using the steering, it is in the center, the electric motor do not runs. When you move the steering wheel, then only it comes into the operation. So this is the biggest advantage in the EPS system. In hydraulic system, what happens? That motor continues to run throughout. But here, when you are turning the steering wheel, then only the motor, it is coming in operation. So the load on the engine, there is no load on the extra load on the engine. Electric power steering is less prone to problem. That motor continues to run. Hydraulic system में कभी leak हो गया, कभी oil seal कट गई. But here it is very less problem. It is coming in operation. So the load on the engine, there is no load on the extra load on the engine. Electric power steering is less prone to problem. That motor continues to run. Hydraulic system में कभी leak हो गया, कभी oil seal कट गई. Nowadays, most of the manufacturers of passenger vehicles are using electric power steering due to various advantages over hydraulic steering system as discussed. But Toyota is a still company who is using hydraulic assisted power steering in their SUVs. टाटा ने भी सारे के सारे टाटा ने भी अपनी गाड़ियों में they have changed it. They have converted that advantage over to EPS system as discussed. But Toyota still they are using for their better advantage. They feel that they are having better steering maneuver in the vehicles. टाटा ने भी सारे के सारे टाटा ने भी अपनी गाड़ियों में क्या है disadvantage इसका क्या है? It is costly than the hydraulic system. Failure of EPS makes the steering wheel rock slide. As I told you that when there is a failure, they feel that then that steering system it's jammed. Almost you will feel that it is very hard. So this is the one of the biggest disadvantage. Failure of EPS makes the steering wheel rock slide. Now electric power steering. When major players of electric power steering कौन-कौन से हैं? That steering systems. Jeticket Corporation, Next Year Automobile, ZF Steering Gear, Denso, and Mando Automotive India. One of the these are having the electric power steering in their market. Now, electric power steering. When major players of electric power collapsible steering column. What is collapsible steering column? Corporation, Next Year Automobile, ZF Steering Gear, Denso, and Mando Automotive India. One of the these are having the electric power steering in their market. What is collapsible steering column? Whenever there is an accident, you will find that steering collapse. Why collapse? The size of the steering column, it is reduced after accident. So it do not hurt the driver steering column because the length of the steering column reduces. Otherwise, what happens? It straightway hit our chest. So now almost all the manufacturers, they are using collapsible steering column. And where they use the collapsible steering column, the cost it is very high. And it is also not repairable. When it collapses, means the steering column has to be replaced. I will show you why and how it works. Before that, some of the electric power steering column have only torque sensor. What this sensor does it? Why there is a torque sensor? Earlier I have shown you in the hydraulic system that when you turn the steering wheel, what happened? The valve, that rotary valve, it's come into operation, and it allows the fluid to pass into the steering rack system or to the pistons. But here, that is not the system. Here they have got a torque sensor. So when you move the steering wheel either left or right, the torque sensor sense that how much pressure is to be applied. Then what happens? That motors that starts, and that is not the system. Here they have got the movement of the motors. It is transmitted through the gear system to the steering rack system. The torque sensor sense. So in each vehicles there will be a torque sensor. In some of the vehicles you will have a angle sensor also. That is known as a steering angle sensor. That is having the movement of the motors different purpose. I will tell you what are the purpose of the angle sensors. So in each vehicles there will be a torque sensor. In some of the vehicles you will have a angle sensor also. That is known as a steering angle sensor. That is having a torque sensor different. It is mounted on the, I will tell you, steering column itself, the angle sensor. And if the torque sensor it is damaged, then that complete steering column has to be replaced. There is no alternative to repair it. So in most of the steering column system, when if it is collapsed or there is a internal impact also, then it is not at all repairable. Steering column has to be. You can see the torque sensor in the electric power steering system measures the torque. The driver applies the steering wheel. Based on the data, the electric control unit calculates the steering assistance which the electric motor needs to apply. How much the force the driver has applied, how much he needs turning. So that is sensed by the torque sensor, and accordingly the vehicle it is turned. It is assisted, and the vehicle it is wheels or vehicle it is turned. Which the electric motor needs to apply. The steering angle sensors measure the steering wheel position angle and rate of turn. Kitna iska turn hua hai. Sensed by the torque sensor. So accordingly, the vehicle which is fitted with the advanced technology of stability control systems, there this angles it is measured and sent to respective device to control the stability of the vehicle at the time of turning. So overskidding it is avoided. Which is fitted with the advanced technology of. Now 4 types of EPS as per position of motor installed. आपने बहुत बार देखा होगा कि जो steering जो electric motor होता है that is installed on the steering column at the time of, and sometimes you might have noticed that it is installed on the steering rack system itself. So that depends upon the manufacturers where they install the motors. So these are the 4 type of steering system where they install the motor. So only 2 it is common. Mostly they install on the steering column or they install on the steering rack system. Manufacturers where they install the motors. So you see here 4 type of when the vehicle it is system where they install the motor. So steered, what happened? It is common. The steering torque sensor. When the vehicle it is steered either to left or right, the steering torque sensor senses that how much turning the driver needs. He sends signal to ECU. steer, what happened? He sends the signal to ECU, and from ECU, it sends the signal to this motor. This electric motor now runs, and the movement of the electric motor, it is transmitted to the rack and pinion system. It is very easy. He sends the signal to ECU. And so in each power steering, electric power steering, there will be a separate ECU system that is only and only for the steering system. It is transmitted. बहुत बार आपने देखा होगा कि when the steering system collapse, they say साहब इसका ECU भी बदली करना होगा. So in each power steering, electric power steering, there will be a separate ECU system that is only and only for the. See here, you can see with this diagram. This is the steering wheel driver input. This is the torque sensor. From here, this goes to ECU, from ECU to motor, and motor to this steering system. See here, you can see with this diagram. This is the steering wheel driver input. This is the torque sensor. From here, this goes to ECU, from ECU to motor, and motor to this steering. This motor, it is fitted on the column. Electric motor is fitted on the column on light vehicles, and in heavy vehicles you will find that they fit the motor on the steering rack itself. So in light motor vehicles, the electric motor, it is fitted on the steering column itself. Fitted on the column. Electric motor is fitted on the column on light vehicles, and in heavy vehicles you will find that they fit the motor on the steering rack itself. Here you can see, so inside only there is a torque sensor. The electric motor, it is fitted on the steering column itself. Fitted on the column. Electric motor is fitted on the column on light vehicles, and in heavy vehicles you will find that they fit the motor on the steering rack itself. Here you can see, so inside only there is a torque sensor. The electric motor, it is fitted on the steering column itself. Electric motor is fitted on the column of light vehicles, and in heavy vehicles you will find that they fit the motor on the steering rack itself. Here you can see, inside only there is a torque sensor. The electric motor, it is fitted on the steering column itself. You can see the movement, how it is transmitted to the steering rack.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
You can see this is dismantle view of the power steering rack.
Recording stopped.
This is the torque
Recording
sensor.
in progress.
This is dismantle view of the power steering rack.
Recording stopped.
This is the torque
Recording
sensor.
in progress.
This is dismantle view of the power steering rack. This is the dismantle view of the electric motors.
Recording stopped.
This is the torque
Recording
sensor.
in progress.
Now in heavy vehicles, you will find that motor it is fitted on the rack and pinion itself. You can see here that motor it is fitted on the rack itself. So the rack and pinion on which motor it is fitted, you will find the cost of rack and pinion, it is too high. Now in heavy vehicles, you will find now you will in the SUV vehicles, you will find that rack and pinion somewhere about it is costing somewhere about 70 to 80,000, or even in even it is costing 1 lakh rupees. One vehicles I have inspected, it is too high. Now in heavy vehicles, you will find now I don't in the so in which it was costing somewhere about 1 lakh rupees. I do not remember the name of the vehicles. Last year I have conducted survey of that vehicles. So in that one, the motor it was fitted on the steering rack itself. Now hydraulic power steering for heavy vehicles. So in which it was costing somewhere about 1 lakh rupees. I do not remember the name of the vehicles. Last year I have conducted survey of that vehicles. Major pillars of hydraulic power steering manufacturers for heavy vehicles are Rane Holding Limited, ZF Steering Gears, Webco, Mando, and JTE KT. In market, you will find only Rane, ZF, and Webco. So almost most of the heavy vehicles, Tata, Ashok Leyland, they are fitted with the Rane, ZF, or Webco. Main parts of the hydraulic power steering box. This is the steering box housing. This is known as the steering worm, and this is known as the piston. Earlier I told you that principle, the name it is known as per the name, it is known as nut. But now since it is bigger in size, we say this is piston. And this is a bottom plate, this is sector shaft, and this is the repair kit of the steering box. So these are the main parts of a steering hydraulic power steering box. But now since it is bigger in size, we say this is piston. How hydraulic power steering works. This is the repair kit of the. You can see with this diagram. This is the power steering. Main parts of a steering. This is the steering gearbox. Power steering gearbox. So fluid from here reservoir, it goes to motor, and from the motor it goes to hydraulic power steering box. So there are two lines. One is inlet and other is outlet. The steering box, it is so designed that when you turn the steering wheel to left or right, the pressure in the steering box, either it is applied from the upper side or it is from the bottom side. So the piston, either it moves up or it is down. I will show you in the other video. It is so designed that when you turn the steering wheel to left or right, the pressure in the steering box, either it is applied from the upper side or it is from the bottom side. So the piston, either it moves up or it is down. During a turn, suppose during a right turn, high pressure fluid pushes the piston up the worm gear, moving the sector shaft and pitman arms to provide assist during a right turn. During a right turn, high pressure fluid pushes the piston. No, it is repeated. During a turn, suppose during a right turn, high pressure fluid pushes the piston up the worm gear, moving the sector shaft and pitman arms to provide assist during a right turn. During a right turn, high pressure fluid pushes the. So here you can see it. when it is moving, how the pressure it is exerted on the piston. High pressure fluid pushes the piston up the worm gear, moving the sector shaft and pitman arms to provide assist during a right turn. During a right turn, high pressure fluid pushes the. Here you can see it when it is moving, how the pressure it is exerted on the piston. High pressure fluid pushes the piston up the worm gear, moving the sector shaft and pitman arms to provide assist during a right turn. During a right turn, high pressure fluid pushes the. Here you can see it when it is moving, how the pressure it is exerted on the piston. When a steering wheel is rotated either right or left, the worm rotates, which moves the piston to up and down on the worm shaft over the ball. You can see it in this one. Steel balls are fitted, and this is the grooves on worm, so it's rotate very easily. The ball helps the wheels is rotated either right or left piston to rotate, which moves very easy up and down on the worm shaft over the ball. You can see in this one, steel balls are fitted, and this is the grooves on worm, so it's rotate very easily. The ball helps the wheels is rotated either right or left piston to rotate, which moves very easy up and down on the worm shaft over the ball. You can see in this one, steel balls are fitted, and this is the grooves on worm, so it's rotate very easily. The ball helps the wheels is rotated either right or left.
I will request all members, please cooperate, keep yourself mute.
Om Prakash, Mr. Kale, 5 times I have muted you. Next time, if you are unmuted, you will be removed from the move.
Yes, I agree.
Mr. Kale, 5 times I have muted you. Next time, if you are unmuted, you will be removed from the group, sir.
Please cooperate. I will request. Yes, Saxena sir. Sinha sir, please continue. Keep yourself mute.
When the worm is rotated, the nut moves and down on the worm shaft over the balls.
Unmuted, you will be removed from the move.
Yes, I agree.
Mr. Kale, 5 times I have muted you.
Now there is a question. Let us see. थोड़ा सा unmute करें sir.
From the group, sir.
ओके सर, आप अपना क्वेश्चन रखिए. मैं पार्टिसिपेंट से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा वो अपने आप को म्यूट कर सके.
On which type of vehicles two-way and four-way hydraulic pipe connection in heavy vehicle steering box are used? आपने कभी देखा होगा, आपने देखा है कि there are two types of steering box, hydraulic steering box.
Okay,
one is having only two inlets and other is having two inlets and two outlets. One is having one inlet and one outlet. Other is having two outlet and two inlet. What is the difference between these two and where it is used? Anyone?
I will request participant to raise your hand, please.
Only two inlets and
through our this reaction.
Two inlets and two outlets. One is having one inlet and one outlet. Other is having two outlet and two inlet.
Yes, Vinod Bharatkhande sir.
What is the difference
Unmute
between
yourself.
these two and where it is used? Anyone?
I will request participant to raise your hand, please. महेश शर्मा जी भी कहना चाहते हैं सर. रिएक्शन मैं चाहूंगा पहले भरत खंडे साहब अगर बोल सके.
Because I know many of our colleagues are not aware about this.
What is the difference? Unmute yourself. You will like to listen from Mahesh Sharma sir?
Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. आने दें.
Mahesh जी बोलिए.
What I understand, only two pipes power steering will be used for LMV type of the vehicle, and when the four pipes power steerings are to be used for the very heavy vehicles like
You will like to
Tata
listen
trucks and
from
all.
Mahesh
No,
Sharma,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. आने दें।
Mahesh जी बोलिए.
What I
Mr. Bharat Khande.
only two pipes, power steering will be
विनोद भरत
used.
खंडे सर.
LMV
आप
type
आंसर
of
दे
the
सकते
vehicle,
हैं.
and when the four pipes power steerings are to be
Mr.
used,
विनोद भात खंडे.
very heavy vehicles like
You will like
Tata
to listen
trucks
from
and all.
No, sir.
Okay. Not an issue. Anyone else want to answer this question? Okay. गुरुदेव आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
बहुत सारे टाटा की गाड़ियों में आपने देखा होगा कि द स्टीयरिंग विच इज यूज्ड दे आर हैविंग टू कनेक्शंस एंड वन स्टीयरिंग बॉक्स इट इज हैविंग फोर कनेक्शन व्हाट फॉर दैट कनेक्शन इट इज
Not an issue.
where two connection steering box it is used and
Anyone
where
else want to
four
answer this
connection
question?
steering box is used.
Okay. गुरुदेव आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
बहुत सारे टाटा की गाड़ियों में आपने देखा होगा
एक ऐसे ना सर
दे आर
कोई पॉजिटिव आंसर नहीं आया सर. केवल महेश शर्मा जी ने कोशिश की थी रिप्लाई देने की. प्लीज आंसर इट.
What for that connection it is. Have you noticed any time where two connection steering box? This is the four connection steering box. Four connection. There are two pipe here and this is two pipe here. The vehicle which is having two
एक ऐसे ना सर
front axle.
कोई पॉजिटिव
The
आंसर नहीं आया
vehicle
सर.
which is having two front axle in such vehicles four connection steering box it is used and the vehicle which is having only single front axle there two pipe connections steering box are used. Why? The vehicle which is having you might have seen front axle that two connection the vehicle it is taken one is input and one is out vehicles it is taken to the rear piston and the vehicle which is having only single front. आप यहाँ पे देखें this is a pipe connections steering box are used. Why? This pipe it is coming from here and the same connection the same pressure it is used at for the rear wheel. It is taken to the दूसरे फोटोग्राफ में rear piston and the vehicle which is having only single front. आप यहाँ पे देखें this is a see there are four connections. Why? This pipe it is coming from here. See here. This is the connection. It is used at for the rear wheel. It is taken to the दूसरे फोटोग्राफ में rear piston. आप यहाँ पे देखें. So steering box से ही हम जो है से यहाँ पे भी इसको इस पिस्टन को जो है से हम कनेक्शन देते हैं. इस वजह से जिस व्हीकल्स में कनेक्शन दो फ्रंट एक्सेल लगे होते हैं उसमें डायरेक्ट that supply it is given from the steering box is itself for having the good pressure to the system. So steering box now हम जो है से यहाँ पे इसकी ऑपरेशन कैसे होती है. इस पिस्टन को जो है से हम कनेक्शन देते हैं. This is the engine. व्हीकल्स में when engine it is rotating front axle लगे होते हैं उसमें डायरेक्ट that supply the steering oil pump it is also connected with the engine drive. So this power this steering oil pump also operates and produces pressure. इसकी ऑपरेशन कैसे होती है? This is sent to this is the steering box. When engine that is through input line and when steering it is moved also connected with the engine drive. The vehicles the piston it will move and from the outlet also operates the and hydraulic pressure hydraulic oil it will return to the steering oil bottle. हम दो सामने में देखते हैं पीले तरह का कवर के डब्बे लगे रहते हैं. That is this yellow cover yellow cap it is also having a meaning why in most of the this container only yellow cover it is and from the outlet yellow cover it is placed. Hydraulic oil it will so from here it is going to the steering oil bottle and again it is going to the oil pump and it is recirculated again and again. Also having a so this is a very simple this container working principle of a hydraulic power steering system. Yellow cover it is placed. Hydraulic oil it And in four-way, what happens? That from here, from other connection, there are already I told you that it is having four connection. So from one connection, it is going to this piston. And from here, again, it is returning and it is coming to the steering box itself. And from there, from the steering box, it is going to the steering aisle bottle. And from there, again, it is going to the steering aisle bottle. So this is a very, very simple function of a power steering hydraulic power assisted system. And from here, again, it is returning and it is coming to the steering box itself. And from there, from the steering box, it is going single axle and this is the double axle. तो इस गाड़ियों में आप देखेंगे कि सिर्फ दो कनेक्शन वाले steering box fitted होंगे and these vehicles it will be having four-way connection. And from here, again, it is returning and it is coming to the steering box itself. And from there, from the steering this is the dismantle view of the heavy vehicles steering gearbox. Double axle. तो इस गाड़ियों में आप देखेंगे कि सिर्फ दो कनेक्शन. This is the steering worm and these vehicles. इसको कभी भी जो है से हम लोगों ने खोल करके नहीं देखा होगा कि इसमें क्या है, क्योंकि when we survey it, the steering box, none of the dealers they repair the steering box. So they send the steering box to the steering box repairer. और वहां पे हम वेरी यूजुअल कभी-कभी हम चले जाते हैं देखने के लिए, लेकिन वो जस्ट रफली हम देख लेते हैं. अदरवाइज जो है दिस इज द फैक्ट व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग यू. I do also, but when the steering box, I have gone there and asked them to dismantle it. They send the each and every parts. They have shown me different things. How these worms get damaged. That is the main phenomena of this steering worm. This is the fact. I will show you in other diagram, other photographs. When I have gone there and asked them. This is the bottom plate, this is sealing kit, and this is the sector shaft. They have shown me different things. How this see here worms get damaged. This is the main piston, worm and piston of the ZF steering box. How it operates? It is having a very typical operation system. You can see here. Can you see this arrow?
Yes, sir.
See here. You can see here. Here is a pin. This is a pin. So when you rotate the when the steering wheel it is rotated, this pin press a lever inside. You can see here, and this is the way for the aisle. It goes inside, and what it do it makes the movement to the worm pin very smooth and easy with the pressure. When the steering wheel it is rotated, so this is the this is a valve. In fact, this is a valve, and this is a valve which opens the inner valve. And what it do it makes and hydraulic pressure, hydraulic oil pressure goes from here smooth and easy with the. And in Rane, I will show you other photographs. So in that way, their design is entirely different from the ZF, which opens the inner valve. And what it do it makes and hydraulic pressure, hydraulic oil pressure goes from. See, this is the this pin. It is built in the piston itself. I will show you other photographs. This is one sort of plunger entirely. So when this pin it is pushed, this allows the aisle internally that with how much pressure that aisle has to move. See, this is the to the this pin it is worms inside the worms. So the easy movement of the worm it is one sort of made plunger entirely. So when this here you can see the seal. There are seals in the pistons. So whenever there is a also periodic service of this steering box. So whenever there is a problem, the dismantle it and with the repair kit of the worm it is system, they repair the kit. Here you can see the seal. There are seals in the pistons. So whenever there is a also periodic service of this steering box. So whenever there is a problem, the dismantle it, and with the repair kit of the system, they repair the kit. Here you can see the seal. There are seals in the pistons. Now we'll have a case study. So whenever there is a also periodic service of this steering box. So whenever there is a problem, the dismantle it, and a Tata Indigo car met with an accident. The undercarriage got impact and various parts, including suspension, got damaged. The steering column got bent from center and got leaked. Is it repairable? सर इसको खोल दे सर, वो अनम्यूट कर दे सारे. टाटा इंडिगो नाउ वी विल हैव द डायरेक्ट इंटरेक्शन. अंडर कैरेज गॉट इंपैक्ट एंड शर्मा सर.
Yes, sir, मैं कर रहा हूँ सर.
Really unmute it.
Yes, sir. Now participants can unmute themselves, sir.
Is it repairable?
Repairable, sir.
It is not repairable.
Participants, you can unmute. Please answer with raise your hand and answer, please, one by one.
It is not repairable. And many times what we say, भैया इसको repair कर दो. How it can be repaired? That when piston it is having a obstruction inside, it cannot be repaired. Steering में कहीं पे भी अगर थोड़ा सा भी bend हो जाएगा, because there is no clearance between the piston and the body, it cannot be repaired. I am talking about the hydraulic system. Hydraulic assisted steering system. सा भी bend हो जाएगा, because there is no clearance between the piston and the body. Now this is the piston. I am talking about the. Now suppose it is due to impact assisted. This portion it got bent. Then this piston it will have restriction to move inside the cavity. So this steering rack has to be replaced. It has to be changed. There is no alternative of that, because this is made of the aluminum body. It cannot be. This is the piston. Now suppose it is due to impact assisted. This portion it got bent. Then this piston it will have restriction to move inside the cavity. A Tata Indigo car met with an accident. The steering rack bent at the center. Is it repairable? A steering rack? No. If it is got bent in the center, the piston cannot move, because this is made of the aluminum body. It cannot be. That's why I have shown you the dismantle view of the system. क्योंकि हम लोग को बहुत ही कम ऐसे चांस मिले हैं जहां पे पूरी डिसमेंटल किट को जो है हमने तो देखा और वहां पे वो बोला साहब डैमेज हो गया, ठीक है भाई आप इसको रिप्लेस कर दो. कार मेट विद एन एक्सीडेंट, द स्टीयरिंग रैक बेंट, बिकॉज़ वी नेवर यूज्ड टू get it dismantled. If it is got bent in the center, the piston cannot move, because this is made of the aluminum body. It cannot be. That's why I have shown you the dismantle view of the system. क्योंकि हम लोग को बहुत ही कम ऐसे चांस मिले हैं जहां पे पूरी डिसमेंटल किट को जो है हमने तो देखा और वहां पे वो बोला साहब डैमेज हो गया, ठीक है भाई आप इसको रिप्लेस कर दो. Now again a Tata Indigo car met with an accident. The steering rack got cracked near the rack and pinion. Is it repairable? No. It cannot be repaired. So in most of the steering system, what we see that when it get damaged, that has to be replaced. इसकी रिपेयरिंग
गुरुदेव,
मैंने कई जगह में गए, वहां पे मैंने पूछा, then they have told it no sir, it is not repairable. The only thing if it is there is a minor leakage and all, then we service the steering rack assembly with the help of the steering system kits, what we see repairing kits. Otherwise if it is getting has to be replaced, impact over the aluminum surface, it is not repairable at all. मैंने कई जगह में गए, वहां पे मैंने पूछा, then they have told it no sir, it is not repairable. The only thing, if a Maruti Swift car met with an accident, its steering column got collapsed. Is the steering column repairable? Is the steering control module required to be replaced? This is very important question.
Repairable, ECM required to be replaced.
Pardon, sir?
Sir, not repairable and ECM required to be replaced.
Why ECM? Maruti Swift car met with an accident. Why steering control module required to be replaced?
Because its program being disturbed.
Model required to be replaced. There is no programming in this. If steering is collapsed, there is no need of replacing the steering control module until unless it has got an impact on its body. Why steering control module? Simply इसको fit कर करके that only steering wheel has to be aligned in the center. There is nothing. That control module will be same. No programming in this. अगर कहीं पे कोई कहता है, then there is no need of replacing the steering control module until unless they are cheating it. Until unless it has got an impact on its body. अभी हमने कई डीलर में जाकर के उनसे जो स्पेशली जो काम करते हैं उनसे मैंने बात की, उनसे ये किया. Then they have told sir it is not required at all to replace it until unless got it on its body. How does a collapsible steering works? Just have a look. क्यों जो है से हम इसको, और when a steering collapse it has to be replaced. Why? अभी हमने कई डीलर में जाकर के उनसे जो स्पेशली जो काम करते हैं उनसे मैंने बात की, उनसे ये किया. मार्केट में तो इसको बना देते हैं सर, नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. हम कहते हैं, डीलर कहता है कि नहीं साहब ये तो रिपेयर होगा नहीं. व्हाई इट इज इट ऑन बॉडी. हाउ डज ए collapsible steering works? जस्ट हैव ए लुक. क्यों जो है से हम इसको, एनीबॉडी, ए स्टीयरिंग collapse.
Participants, you can answer.
Why? Is the collapsible steering repairable?
No, sir.
मार्केट में तो इसको क्यों नहीं है सर? मार्केट में रिपेयर करते हैं, डीलर नहीं करते हैं कि नहीं साहब ये तो रिपेयर होगा नहीं. व्हाई इट इज. वही गाड़ी जब मार्केट में बनने जाती है, वो उसको 50,000 रुपया और 40,000 रुपया को 2,000 में कहते हैं साहब ठीक है हमने बना दिया इसको.
Participants, you can answer.
But they do it. Is the collapsible steering repairable?
No, sir.
मार्केट में तो इसको क्यों नहीं है सर?
Collapsed only due to a plastic type obstruction.
वही गाड़ी जब मार्केट में बनने
Which
जाती
breaks.
है, there is a plastic lock.
Yes.
There is a plastic lock. So when there is a pressure on the steering wheel, and when a steering wheel collapses, the plastic locks, it gets break. And since none of the manufacturers, they are supplying that lock,
Plastic type.
hence that complete assembly has to be replaced. लेकिन जब यही स्टीयरिंग मार्केट में जाती है, then it gets repaired. What magic they do it? Once the kit it is not available, it gets break. Have you noticed? वो क्या करते हैं? None of the manufacturers, they are supplying, hence that complete assembly has to be replaced. लेकिन जब यही स्टीयरिंग मार्केट में जाती है, then it gets repaired. What magic they do it? Once the kit it is
Yes, Gurudev, please continue. Sinha sir,
sir, have you noticed? वो क्या करते हैं?
please continue.
In market, what they do it? Now you can see these photographs. It is collapsing. When the pressure is exerted, the column it is getting collapsed. Now in local market, now the steering lock it has got broken. Now in local market, what they do it?
Sinha sir,
They push this steering column outside because already it is collapsed. In market, what they do it, and it is easy to now you can see remove it. It will be pulled from there. And what they do it, they weld these two outer and inner portion of the steering column.
Oh.
Now in local market, उन्होंने बाहर निकाल करके उसको वेल्ड कर दिया, and next time when there is a accident, the steering column will not.
सुना सर, एक वीरेंद्र कुमार उपाध्याय साहब कुछ बोलना थे, संजय कुमार तिवारी साहब भी अपना एक मेरा ख्याल हैंड रेज कर रहे हैं, वो भी बोलना चाहते हैं। संजय तिवारी साहब अनम्यूट कीजिए अपने आप को।
नहीं सर, मैं बोल रहा था सर, हाथ आपसे उठाया था सर चश्मा ठीक करने के लिए, अभी बोलना नहीं है सर।
ओके, वीरेंद्र कुमार उपाध्याय सर।
सर उसको वेल्ड ही करते हैं, साहब ने उत्तर दे दिया है, मैंने लिख दिया था पहले ही।
ओके, उसको वेल्ड कर करके दे आर मेकिंग प्रॉन टू लाइफ।
वो भी बोलना चाहते हैं। संजय तिवारी साहब अनम्यूट कीजिए अपने आप को।
कहीं टोटल लॉस होती है गाड़ी, वो कहते नहीं साहब हम तो बना देंगे।
मैं बोल रहा था सर,
50,000 का स्टीयरिंग
चश्मा ठीक करने के लिए अभी
रैक है, उन्होंने 2000 में बना दिया।
वीरेंद्र कुमार उपाध्याय सर।
Now you see, this is the outer shaft and this is the inner shaft.
मैंने लिख दिया था पहले।
So what they do it from here, they weld it. They are making इसको पूरा वेल्ड कर करके जाम कर देते हैं। So this steering rack it won't be collapsing again. नहीं साहब हम तो बना देंगे।
ओके, तो नॉन कोलैप्सिबल बना देते हैं बेसिकली।
नॉन कोलैप्सिबल इसको बना देते हैं। उन्होंने 2000 में बना दिया।
वीरेंद्र कुमार उपाध्याय सर, मेन पर्पस तो फिर सॉल्व नहीं होगा ना सर इसका?
नहीं हुआ ना सर। दिस इज द आउटर शाफ्ट एंड दिस, लेकिन वो तो अब हमें तो नहीं पता ना सर। सर्वेयर दे डू इट, व्हाट दे डू इट, दे वेल्ड इट। वो तो कहते हैं हमारे सर्वेयर, दोज हु आर नॉट सो नोइंग दिस थिंग्स, इवन दे टेल टू इंश्योरर दैट साहब वो तो 2000 रुपए में बना दिया, जो ऐसे हमने तो उसको बनवा दिया।
नॉन कोलैप्सिबल बना देते हैं।
ही इज नॉट नोइंग व्हाट दे हैव डन इट। उन्होंने तो एक लाइफ को खतरे में डाल दिया।
मेरा ख्याल राजेश गुप्ता साहब कुछ कहना चाहते हैं सर।
सर मैं
इजाजत है?
सिर्फ इतना ही बोलना चाहूंगा कि ये कोलैप्सिबल को नॉर्मल स्टीयरिंग बना दिया, नॉन कोलैप्सिबल। और खास करके हमारे जो भाई लोग एक्सीडेंटल गाड़ी को तैयार करके लेते हैं, टोटल लॉस के बाद में रिपेयर करते हैं,
so you will find this type of things.
I doubt
40,000 50,000 का वो रिप्लेस नहीं करते हैं उसको, डेफिनेटली नॉर्मल स्टीयरिंग।
So that means sole purpose of safety of that vehicle in an accident is totally at risk now. Normal steering बना दिया, non collapsible.
Now a Maruti car 800 Alto car met with an accident, its control module got damaged, the control module has to be replaced. अगर केवल impact हुआ, steering collapse नहीं हुआ, and that only control module it got damaged, then control module has to be replaced, and there is no need of calibration of the module or steering system. It doesn't need any calibration. Only that EPS to be replaced. Control module got damaged, the control module has to be replaced. अगर केवल Eco Sports met with an accident, the steering rack got damaged. Is the EPS system required to be replaced? And there is no need of calibration of the anyone module.
No sir, in my opinion.
It doesn't need any calibration.
Anyone else please answer? गुरुदेव ने बहुत मेहनत से आपके लिए क्वेश्चंस रखे हैं, प्लीज आंसर।
Is the EPS system required to be replaced? Is the EPS system required to be replaced? And there is no need of calibration of the.
No.
And earlier, what I told you,
No, sir.
that in SUV, most of the SUV, the motor is fitted on the steering rack itself.
Yeah.
It is not on the column. So here, this is the steering box. This is the steering rack of a Eco Sports, and you find this is a motor. It is fitted on the rack itself. And earlier what and the designing, and it is so complicated. This vehicles this vehicles it was inspected by me, and I got dismantled complete this steering rack system I got it complete dismantled, just only to have the knowledge.
Sir, I doubt
Timing, it
there
is very, very
is
typical, sir.
EPS is supplied separately.
And I tell you, the EPS system, it is inbuilt along with the motor.
Yes, it is not supplied separately, sir.
It is not supplied separately. It is inbuilt. The motor, it is inbuilt. The steering rack, it is inbuilt. So that complete assembly has to be replaced, and this is cost somewhere about 94,000 rupees.
I doubt
Timing, it is very, very typical, sir.
EPS is supplied separately.
महेश शर्मा साहब कुछ पूछना चाह रहे हैं सर, इजाजत है?
हाँ सर,
महेश शर्मा सर प्लीज अनम्यूट करें।
It is not supplied separately, sir.
It is not supplied separately.
महेश शर्मा सर अनम्यूट कीजिए।
Motor, it is inbuilt. The steering rack, it is inbuilt.
सर मैं बताना चाहूंगा 1 मिनट के लिए, बड़ौदा में BMW गाड़ी एक्सीडेंटल सर्वे की थी, जिसमें खड़ी हुई गाड़ी को क्रॉस में आके फ्रंट व्हील के अंदर दूसरी गाड़ी ने डैश किया था। तो उस समय पार्टी कहने के हिसाब से उसका पावर स्टीयरिंग फेल हो गया, काफी हेवी हो गया। बड़ौदा में गाड़ी रिपेयर हो, लेकिन पावर सिस्टम का काम BMW उस समय अहमदाबाद में होता था। तो बड़ौदा से CRM ने अहमदाबाद का सर्वेयर को भेजा कि भाई इसको देख के अलाउ करो। तो उस सर्वेयर ने रिपोर्ट भी नहीं दिया, चिट्ठी लिख दिया कि भाई इस तरह का एक्सीडेंट में पावर सिस्टम फेल नहीं हो सकता है। और उस समय 1,80,000 का ये रैक एंड पिनियन था इलेक्ट्रिकल BMW का। उसमें रीजन था, अभी चिट्ठी आ गया कि भाई ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है, नो क्लेम कर दिया पावर सिस्टम के लिए। तो मुझे काफी मेहनत करना पड़ा, गूगल पे सर्च करके डीलर को पूछ के।
This system, now suppose there is an impact on wheel, even though
सर मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा। तो उस समय मैंने देखा कि ये जो इलेक्ट्रिकल सिस्टम हम देख रहे हैं, उसके अंदर जो सेंसर आता है, इट गॉट वेरी हैवी इम्पैक्ट, और उसकी वजह से वो फेल हो गया और पावर स्टीयरिंग उसको बदलना पड़ा। तो ये प्रकार का जो पावर स्टीयरिंग है, उसको पूरा ही बदलना पड़ता है, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द सेंसर इट इज नॉट सप्लाइड सेपरेटली इवन बाय द BMW।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
तो उस समय मैंने देखा कि ये जो इलेक्ट्रिकल सिस्टम
टाटा सिग्ना 5530 vehicle, which is only 3 months old, got hit by a TP vehicle parked, had impact from LS side, a steering box leaked and damaged. Is it an accidental loss to the steering box? This is the vehicle. This is the vehicle. The vehicle got hit from here. You can see it left side. Only this door, and front show. That is from the left side. It got impact and it got damaged. Under such circumstances,
in my opinion, it is not accidental loss to steering box, sir.
Under such circumstances, is it? This is the vehicle. Is the steering box? It will get leaked or it will get damaged. The vehicle got hit from here. You can see it left side. Only this.
Sir, steering box तो right side में आएगा सर, ये left side का loss.
That's what I am telling you. क्यों ऐसे हो सकता है? Is it possible?
No, in my opinion, sir. Other participants can answer. Accidental loss to steering box, sir.
Under such circumstances, is it?
Participants, this is interactive. You can answer. You can put your view.
Very new vehicles.
Upadhyay, sir.
I have put 1, 2, 3 photographs.
It can leak, sir.
Steering box तो right side में आएगा सर, can leak. ये वीरेंद्र कुमार उपाध्याय साहब बता रहे हैं कि ये लीक हो सकता है।
कैसे हो सकता है सर?
हाँ, ये बताएं सर। सर अदर पीयूष जैन साहब भी कहना चाहते हैं। उपाध्याय साहब अपनी बात रखिए पूरी फटाफट।
थोड़ा जल्दी करें।
इस समय गाड़ी लेफ्ट साइड पे हिट हो रही सर, स्टीयरिंग पर लोड बढ़ेगा।
पहले जो है काफी बोरिंग सब्जेक्ट था।
ओके सुन लेते हैं।
ड्राइवर गाड़ी को ड्राइव कर रहा है, स्टीयरिंग को उसने पकड़ के रखा है। कहीं से इम्पैक्ट आएगा तो स्टीयरिंग पर जो इम्पैक्ट शिफ्ट हो रहा है उसके कारण लीक हो सकता है।
कैसे हो सकता है? ओके, because this impact is very minor.
सिन्हा सर, यूज साहब को भी सुन लें।
I would like to explain it.
एक मिनट सर, सिन्हा सर, पीयूष जैन साहब की भी बात सुन लेते हैं ताकि अपन सभी को एक साथ आप बता सके।
थोड़ा सा जल्दी।
पीयूष जैन सर बोलिए, अनम्यूट कीजिए।
Good evening, sir. The impact is towards left side of the vehicle. The cabin have been shifted backwards and the mounting have been disturbed. So I think due to shifting of the cabin, the steering rod have been damaged, broken, or shifted backwards. Due to which there is chances of leakage of oil. That would further lead to leakage of oil and damage of steering assembly.
Okay. Yes.
Yes,
Anyone else? सिन्हा साहब से फिर ले लेते हैं अपन. सिन्हा साहब आप अपना आंसर दे दीजिए.
सर इन्होंने बिल्कुल सही जवाब दिया है. This is one of the reason what happened. You can see in the photographs due to impact. Here you can see in the third photograph, this what I have written, this socket broken. And when this socket has broken, this is the mounting in the second photographs. You can see my finger.
Yeah.
The finger here. This is broken.
Yes.
In most of the vehicles, you will find when there is an impact from the front, many times this socket gets broken or the mounting of the cabin, both the mounting it gets break. You can see what happens. This shifts because from the left side, the cabin it is pushed back, and when the mounting it is broken, the front portion it comes forward. The right portion it hits the steering shaft, where there is a hole. So that cabin hits the steering shaft, and due to the pressure, that steering gets damaged.
Congratulate पीयूष जैन साहब, आपने बहुत अच्छा आंसर दिया. बताइए कहाँ से हैं आप पीयूष जैन साहब?
Sir, I am from Raipur, Chhattisgarh.
That's good.
बिल्कुल इन्होंने सही जवाब दिया है.
Congratulations sir.
Thank you
For
very
good
much.
answer. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Sinha sir. Continue.
So that cabin hits the steering shaft, and due to the pressure, what happened? That steering gets. In most of the cases, you will find when there is a impact. Here it is. Here there is a bearing inside this plate. There is a bearing, and that bearing or here is a. This is worm that is engaged on the top. So this gate breaks.
Yes, Sinha sir.
In this case, also the same problem has happened. That top plate, that it is where the steering worm it is engaged, that has got broken along with the bearing. And since this is a steering box, it is designed by the ZF. That complete system has to be replaced, because ZF is the company who is not supplying separate piston, separate worm and separate plate. So in ZF, when there is a such type of damages, and suppose apart from that, if the steering box also gets cracked, then the cost it will be more than the repairing cost of a new steering. So under such circumstances, the complete steering box has to be replaced.
गुरुदेव राजेश गुप्ता साहब कुछ पूछना चाह रहे हैं या कहना चाह रहे हैं?
थोड़ा बाद में देख लेते हैं सर.
सर सिर्फ इसी पॉइंट के ऊपर मैं बोलूंगा सर कि सिन्हा साहब ने आपको एक और एवेन्यू दिया है कि कल आप लेफ्ट साइड का इम्पैक्ट देखने के बाद में गाड़ी को खाली उधर के ही डैमेजेस मत देख के हट जाएं. He has told you another point which has to be observed, और आपको ये एस्पेक्ट सर्वे के टाइम पे उसको भी देखना चाहिए. ये चीजें बाद में नहीं तो गाड़ी तैयार होने के बाद में दिखेंगी, दिक्कत आएगी. But if you have seen it in the first only, you will get all the evidences to prove it, sir. This is what I wanted to end. Thank you, Sinha Saab, for this great and wonderful learning to everybody, sir.
Thank you, sir. Whenever there is an impact on the steering box, what happens? Already I have shown you in the previous photographs that the balls it rotate in between the steering worm. So this is the worm and this is the steel ball. So this rotates in between. Complete it is
Learning to everybody, sir.
From here up to the end, it is filled with the steel balls. So what happened? Whenever there is an impact, already I have shown you, there is a spotted mark on the worm. And when there is a mark on the steering worm, so this is the complete, this worm has to be replaced, because the movement of the steering worm will be from here up to the restricted. It will have a friction. Under such circumstances, this complete system has to be replaced. And now, if it is of ZF company, suppose the steering box is of ZF, then that complete system along with the piston, along with the plate, it has to be replaced. And the cost of that item somewhere about it is 19,000 rupees. Under such circumstances, and this system has to be worm. It is designed in 4 piece. This is not a single piece. The steering box is. This is not a single piece. It is designed in a. There is an input shaft inside the worm. वो आपने कभी देखा ही नहीं होगा. That item somewhere about it is 19,000 rupees. There is a input shaft in the worm. अभी बाद में दिखाएंगे. In the accident, when there is an impact on the steering shaft, the steel ball hits the worms, where the worms and piston both get potted. This is not a single piece. It is because the piston it is moving on that, so there will be potted mark on the piston also. It is not only on the shaft. So under such circumstances, if the potted mark is on the piston, then piston has to be changed. Or if the potted mark is on the steering worm has to be changed. In case of Rane, if it is of ZF, then complete system has to be changed. Complete worm assembly has to be changed. It is not only on the shaft. This is the input shaft. This is a dismantle view of the worm. This is in 4 pieces. One piece is here, one piece is here. In many cases, what happens, most of the times when I visited repairer garage and had a talk with them, then they told, sir, that in most of the cases, this input shaft, when there is an impact on the vehicle, you won't find that it is damaged from the outside. You won't see that arm it is damaged. But if we dismantle it, we find that input shaft it is damaged. And when the input shaft it is damaged, then the complete this worm has to be replaced. So they say that they told, sir, that most of customer they are not aware about the input shaft. So what we say that worm it is got damaged. You won't see that worm it is damaged, and input shaft it is not being supplied so complete, because it is a part of the this worm. Then the complete this worm और ZF में तो बिल्कुल है ही नहीं. So they say that
ना सर ये potted marks आपने बोले, जरा थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे what are these potted marks? टर्म क्या हुआ?
इसमें जो है से बॉल रन करती है. बहुत पहले मैंने आपको स्टीयरिंग बक्सा का जो है से मैंने बताया था कि इसके अंदर जो है से रिसर्कुलेटिंग एंड नट टाइप का इसमें नट एंड बॉल टाइप का सिस्टम होता है. सो बॉल इज प्लेस्ड इन बिटवीन पिस्टन एंड वर्म. सो व्हेन बिकॉज इट इज रनिंग whenever steering wheel it is moved, बॉल के साथ में जैसे बॉल बेरिंग कैसे होते हैं, so it is designed in that way. बॉल रन करती है. बहुत पहले मैंने बॉल बेरिंग कभी बेरिंग के ऊपर इंपैक्ट होता है, then you will find that there is a potted mark on the body of the bearing inside. So in same way here also there will be potted mark on the.
देसी भाषा में potted को क्या बोल सकेंगे आप उसको, जो अगर वो हिंदी में या कुछ बोलेंगे तो क्या उसको
छोटे गड्ढे हो जाते हैं सर, छोटे गड्ढे स्पॉट हो जाते हैं.
वही मैं चाहता था सर, वही आप चाहता था कि थोड़ा सा लोगों को एक्सप्लेन करें.
अच्छा हल्के बहुत छोटे जो है से बॉल के साइज का जो है से वहां पे गड्ढा हो जाएगा. जो साइज बॉल का होगा उस टाइप का जो है से वहां पे गड्ढे हो जाएंगे.
सॉरी सर, मेरे को वो नहीं था, खाली यही पॉइंट आउट करना था. बाकी लोगों को समझ आया कि व्हाट दिस टर्म potted मींस, क्योंकि जनरली इट इज नॉट दिस टर्म वी कम अक्रॉस, तो इसलिए मैंने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा. सॉरी सर, वही मैं चाहता था सर.
हाउ टू चेक हाइड्रोलिक पावर स्टीयरिंग सिस्टम. बहुत बार क्या होता है कि हम जाते हैं सर्वे करते हैं, वो कहते हैं कि साहब ये तो डैमेज हो गया, जो साइज बॉल का होगा, अगर गाड़ी के ऊपर अगर ये फिट है, देन हम इसको कैसे चेक कर सकते हैं?
खाली यही पॉइंट आउट करना था, तो बाकी लोगों को समझ आया कि व्हाट दिस टर्म
नाउ सी,
क्योंकि जनरली
वो बताया कि साहब ये जो है से डैमेज हो गया.
तो इसीलिए मैंने
Now this is the arm. When the pipe it is removed, if you move the arm, it will move very easily. क्या होता है कि हम जाते हैं, इसके आयल तो बाहर आएंगे, but the steering it will move very smoothly. If you find that this is very hard, it means there is a problem, or there is the shaft it got bent, or there is a potted mark on the either on piston or worm, or both of them. Pipe it is removed, so this way you can check it. It will move. अब देखें, इसको हाथ लगा करके मैं इसको चेक किया, then I found that yes, this was very smooth. So like that you can check it. Even when you are going for the survey and they tell that before dismantling of the steering box, it can be checked. Or even when it is dismantled also, you can move this worm or both of them with the help of that arm. You can check it. अब देखें, इसको हाथ लगा करके मैं, अब देखें बहुत इजी ये मूव हो रहा है आगे पीछे.
एक महेश शर्मा जी ने हैंड रेज किया. सर, शुड वी टेक क्वेश्चंस और इट इज
कर लेते हैं सर, बिकॉज़ नाउ
सर इसको कंटिन्यू, मेरा ख्याल है इसको महेश शर्मा सर माफी चाहेंगे, इसको मंडे को क्वेश्चन आंसर कर देंगे सर, ये पूरा प्रेजेंटेशन पूरी हो जाए यार.
Okay, okay.
Move this. Now you see, one box it was removed. Then they told me that sir, this is having a problem. This is not moving perfectly. It is not having a smooth movement. So I told him, you bring the shaft and mount it over this. Then they have mounted it and I have rotated this one. Then I told him, yes, this is a very smooth. You show me where it is not, where it is hard. You see on which portion, at which point it is not moving smoothly. Then they failed to explain having a problem, and finally the same steering box it was fitted on the vehicle, and absolutely there was no problem on the steering and mount it. So in this way you can see how it is moving. I have rotated this one. Then I told him, yes, this is. You can see the position of the hand. It is not so hard. Where it is hard, you see on which portion, at which point it is not moving smoothly. Then they failed to explain having a problem, and finally the same steering box it was. Repairing cost of hydraulic power steering. Absolutely. What would be the cost of repairing steering and mount it? So in this way, this is ZF. How it is moving. The new steering box somewhere of 55 Tata model, and it is not 5523 or 5530. It is costing around 32,800. This is market cost. Dealer they have, I think, somewhere 38,000 also, or 35,000. In market there it is less by 3,000 or 4,000. So in this way, this is ZF. Now steering box housing. Now if it is steering box housing, if it is got damaged, then the cost of ZF steering box housing, it is somewhere around 7,500 market cost. Steering worm, it is costing somewhere about 18,500 rupees. As I told you that ZF is not supplying separate parts. They are supplying the complete assembly, and they are supplying the repair kit, that is for the 3,000 rupees. And the sector shaft, it is costing somewhere about 8,000 rupees. Box housing, it is somewhere around. So you can see कि कौन सा चीज खराब हो गया है, and what is the cost of the steering box. 500 rupees. As I told you, so accordingly it could be repaired or replaced. They are supplying the. इस वजह से the repairing cost of ZF is costlier than the Rane. And the sector shaft, it is costing somewhere about 8,000 rupees. Now this is Rane. Steering box housing, there I have shown you, their housing is cheaper than this. So accordingly, the steering box housing of Rane, it is costing somewhere about 12,800. Steering worm, they are supplying separate steering worm, and they are supplying separate piston. So a steering worm somewhere it is costing about 12,500 and piston 5,000 rupees. Now this is Rane. There is a plate, steering box. This is a bottom plate. This is costing 6,500 rupees. आपने बहुत बार गाड़ी का सर्वे किया होगा, and when the steering box it is fitted with the ZF, many times what happens, this bottom nut it gets damaged, and due to damage of the nut, this bottom plates it gets damaged. Under such circumstances, the steering box, because this plate it is not being supplied separately, the complete steering box has to be replaced. When the steering box it is fitted with the ZF, because the one end of the shaft it is connected to the bottom portion of the box. This bottom plates it gets damaged. So when this gets damaged, then complete box has to be replaced. Many times repairer says साहब ये तो मिलता नहीं, हम कहते हैं कि यार ये तो केवल प्लेट चला गया, तुम जो ऐसे कह रहे हो, because ZF is not supplying the separate one end of the Rane. They are supplying two types of kit. One is major kit, that is overhauling kit, major kit, and other is repairing kit, minor. So this is the cost, and sector shaft that is somewhere around 600. The steering box it depends upon the types of vehicles where it is to be used. What is the power of the vehicles? They are supplying two types of. So these company only they supply the that is overhauling kit, major kit boxes to the different manufacturers. उसमें केवल और केवल जो है से डिजाइन का अंतर होता है. Somewhere you will find that outlet is inlet and outlet both are at same place, and in other you will same steering box which is fitted in the Ashok Leyland, you will find that there is a difference of their positions. But power and each and everything it will be same. Only the design of the housing it will be changed. To the different manufacturers. और इसकी जो है से टर्निंग पे होती है. Earlier this was when outlet both are at same place. This was having I think six round which is fitted in the Ashok Leyland. Means when the steering wheel it is moved 6 times, then there will be complete turning of the steering. Now they are supplying with 6.5 round. तो 6.5 राउंड और 6 में क्या अंतर हो गया? Because the turning of the vehicles it will be shorter. It has to travel shorter distance for the same turning. It is moved 6 times. Then there will be complete turning of the steering. Now Tata Primer is using tilt steering column like private car, where the height of the steering can be adjusted. Turning of the vehicle. सबसे बड़ी हमारी समस्या क्या होती है? When we go for a survey in the local market, it has to हम उसको पूरा हमारे पास टेक्निक हमने उसको देखा ही नहीं है कि which type of steering box which type of steering column it is fitted. This steering column it is costing somewhere about 20,000. हम उसको कहते हैं भैया वो तो 3,000 रुपया का आता है. Steering column 2,500 रुपया का आता है. Because I have not seen उस गाड़ी में कौन सा फिट है in the local market. So the dispute arises from here only. अगर हमें पता है कि नहीं सारे अब तो स्टीयरिंग सिस्टम सारे जो से बदल गए हैं. So this is the new type of steering box. It is a new type of steering column. It is fitted on the new generation of the vehicle. Not only I am talking about the Tata, even almost all the manufacturers now they are installing with the spline shaft. हमें पता है कि नहीं सारे अब तो steering column system. So now how this works? New type of steering box. It is a new type of steering column. It is fitted on the new generation of the vehicle. Not only I am talking about the Tata, even almost all the manufacturers. Now I'm talking about the Tata. Other than a steering wheel, Tata is not supplying any other parts. Hence, if any parts gets damaged, the complete steering column to be replaced like private car. Private car में भी complete कुछ भी होता है, complete steering column has to be replaced. Here also they are not supplying any parts, so that complete column has to be replaced. Almost all the now I'm talking about the Tata. Now you see how it is moving. Tata is not supplying any other parts. Hence, if any parts gets damaged, the complete steering column to be replaced like private car. Private car में भी complete कुछ भी होता है, complete steering column has to be replaced. Here also they are not supplying any parts, so that complete column. So this is also adjustable type. Now I'm talking about the Tata. Now you see how it is moving. Tata is not supplying any other parts. Hence, if this is a tilt mechanism, and this is a steering column, and this is a spline shaft. So suppose tilt mechanism, it is damaged, complete assembly has to be replaced. So this is from here, like private car, the height of the column, it can be adjusted. This is a tilt mechanism, and this is a steering column, and this is a spline shaft. So suppose tilt mechanism, it is पुराने steering column इस टाइप के आते थे, replaced. तो जब कभी हम लोकल मार्केट में सर्वे करते हैं, like private, हम यही सोच के जाते हैं कि साहब इस टाइप के कॉलम उसमें फिट होंगे. This is a tilt mechanism, and this is a steering column. Now, in any vehicles. Now you can see it here. Impact on a steering ball joint. When there is an impact on the steering ball joints, this cannot be destroyed or cannot be repaired. So under such circumstances, that complete steering rack has to be replaced. There is no alternative. Now, in any vehicles, कई बार आपने देखा होगा कि केवल व्हील में इम्पैक्ट होते हैं. The impact is on the wheel, and that impact it shifts here, and it damages the tie rod and this ball joint. This cannot be destroyed or cannot be repaired. So under such circumstances, the complete steering rack has to be replaced. There is no alternative. Now, in any vehicles, कई बार आपने देखा होगा कि केवल व्हील में इम्पैक्ट होते हैं. A Hyundai i10 car hit with the bullet motorcycle from front RS side. The impact noticed on the front wheel. Is it possible that a steering rack may get damaged? Yes, it is possible. अभी मैंने जैसा दिखाया, that is the same condition. Now see here, a steering rack got bent. बाकी गाड़ी में कुछ नहीं हुआ. The impact was on the steering. Impact was on the front wheel, and when front wheel got damaged, what happened? The toe in or toe out angle, it will be shifted. It is possible. It cannot be adjusted. अगर बहुत minor है, then it can be adjusted. लेकिन अगर ज्यादा हो गया, then complete rack has to be changed, because the angle it is set by this one. On the steering, impact was on the front wheel, and when front wheel got damaged, what happened? The toe in or toe out angle, it will be shifted. It is possible. Thanks sir. Thanks for your patience. एक हमने ट्राई किया था स्टीयरिंग के ऊपर, because this is a very boring subject.
Nice sir, so nice of you. You have already explained in depth. ये हमेशा की तरह आपने किया है सर. मैं चाहूँगा बीनू वर्के साहब vote of thanks दें.
Okay, steering system itself, it is a very boring thing.
Yes, Mr. बीनू वर्के.
I don't know how you people have observed this
No, we
presentation.
enjoyed it, sir. आप देखिए अभी भी हमारे पास पूरी strength है, sir. Full strength we are here.
Very interesting, sir.
Already explained in depth. Participants, you can unmute yourself and you can put your your reactions on our chat box. On Monday, we will again have a session on question and answer. Or please get your questions ready, and I will request Sinha sir to be there to answer all question and answer, because time is too lengthy. It was too lengthy, so today it was not possible to take all any questions, sir. You can, sir. I believe you will just give us support us on the Monday also, sir, or question answer session.
आ जाएंगे sir, there won't be any problem for me.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So मैं चाहूँगा बीनू वर्के sir, and I will request hello Sinha sir to be there to answer all question and answer. हमारे लक्ष्मण सिंह संकला साहब हैं जोधपुर से सर. नमस्कार लक्ष्मण सिंह जी, बोलिए.
नमस्कार सर, सबको नमस्कार. मेरी आवाज आ रही है सर?
बिल्कुल आ रही है.
यस सर, आ रही है.
सर सिन्हा साहब और बाकी सब को यही पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, जब ये इतनी कॉस्टली स्टीयरिंग सिस्टम आ गए हैं तो आगे कार के लिए जैसे एक्सीडेंट में बम्पर लगे रहते हैं और प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, तो ये जो स्टीयरिंग सिस्टम के आगे कोई ऐसा क्यों नहीं प्रोटेक्शन प्लेट वगैरह लगाया जाए? सबको या लगाना चाहिए कि वहाँ इम्पैक्ट वहाँ ना आए. व्हील पे तो आएगा सर, व्हील के आगे तो कुछ हम नहीं लगा सकते, तो ये स्टीयरिंग बॉक्स वगैरह जो लगा रहता है वहाँ प्रोटेक्शन सिस्टम ऐसा आगे प्लेट क्यों नहीं लगा सकते जो वहाँ हिट करे? जैसे टाई स्टीयरिंग का रैक और पिलियन का जो टाई रोड है, टाई रोड को इम्पैक्ट कर जाता है. तो थोड़ा लोअर से फ्रंट में ऐसा लगाना चाहिए, और कैसे हो सकता है? हमारे हिंदुस्तान के इंजीनियर सोचना चाहिए. थैंक यू सर.
Lakshman Singh ji, we will discuss this topic on Monday, sir.
Okay,
so this
sir.
is the designing part from the manufacturer, sir. We cannot do any. Yes, we will put your question to the manufacturer only. They have to take care of it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. मैं चाहूँगा बीनू वर्के sir.
Yes, sir. I'm on live.
Please give vote of thanks to our sir.
Okay, sir. Anyway, before I start my session on thanking everyone, in fact, the untimely demise of Girmaji is a loss to the virtual tech community, and I sincerely thank.
बीनू वर्के sir.
Sir, I'm on live.
Please give vote of thanks to our sir.
Yes, sir. I'm on the live.
Yeah. Continue, sir. Continue, Binu.
Before I start my session on thanking everyone, before I start my word of thanks to Mr. A.K. Sinha sir, let me thank each and everyone who has been very kind enough to pour in more and more condolence messages on the untimely demise of Girmaji sir, because of his attitude towards the process of learning has gone to this extent. And we are on the good track of learning and sharing the knowledge to everyone. In fact, had he been alive, we would have been gifted with more and more inputs in the future sessions. But unfortunately, the decision of Almighty has to be taken into granted, and let us pray for the departed soul. We are on the good track of learning and sharing the knowledge. On behalf of the Virtual Tech Group, I thank Mr. A.K. Sinha sir for his excellent and extraordinary session, and in fact he has given us sufficient case studies to handle many of the claims to the persons who have attended it. But due to the restriction of the number of candidates on this particular group, we couldn't get in more than 100 numbers. But on behalf of the virtual anyhow, we will do the best to accommodate more people in the coming sessions. with the support of all the members. AK Sinha, special thanks to you, and special thanks to the moderator Om Prakash Sharma sir for his excellent moderation, and coordinators like Tumalagonda Ramesh and Mahesh Sharma sir.
All
In
co-hosts.
fact, we cannot forget about our Anand Alkutkar sir, who has been the what you call guiding force behind our such sessions. So thanks to one and all for attending this particular program, and hope further sessions from AK Sinha sir will come up, which will enlighten the community. And thank you once again, AK Sinha sir, for your excellent session. Thank you very much. Thank you all the
Thank you.
participants and all
Thank
the
you, Binu sir.
coordinators and all the Virtual Tech admins who have been what you called very active in this particular session. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Binu Varke sir. Yes, Rajesh Gupta sir.
Sir, friends, I would just point out one thing. Sinha Saab, salute to you.
Thank you once again,
Salute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It is not even for the presentation what you have given.
Thank you, Binu
Friends,
sir.
see, he is on the virtual mode. Virtual mode where we sit leisurely. But sir, see his dress up, sir.
Thank
He
you,
is
Binu Varke sir.
tied
Yes, Rajesh
up
Gupta
with
sir.
a tie and a white shirt with a full decorum of a, you can call it as a faculty. और सर इस चीज के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत सैल्यूट सर.
धन्यवाद सर, धन्यवाद.